violence. Our thoughts and support are with the victim. Chad is a free agent and no longer with the team. So, Shannon, I'm going to start with you here. What are your thoughts and your reaction to this news?
You know, Skip, a lot of times that we are a debate show and we debate a topic and we go back and forth. But I think in this situation, this is more of a conversation that you and I will have about this topic. And a lot of times when we're dealing with this, we talk about the person that's involved in the act and what should his punishment be. But for a second, before I get to Chad Wheeler, I want to talk about the victim. Because a lot of times the victim, the person that suffers this, they don't get talked about. Only the person that committed the act. So the victim of this domestic, of this violent act.
Yep.
Our thoughts and prayers go out with her and to anyone that suffered something like this. Because, Skip, her life will never be the change, will never be the same. Her life is forever changed because anytime a protector is the abuser, you lose a sense of protection of what you think a protector should do. Because, nah, you're supposed to protect me from this. If someone is trying to do this to me, you're supposed to jump in and be my superhero. You're not supposed to commit this act against me. So hopefully she can get the counseling. She can get the help she needs. Obviously, there are some medical things that she's going to have to heal up of that nature. So I wish her a speedy recovery. And I understand that what she's going through is that's going to take her a while to recover, but hopefully she can come and have some resemblance of a normal life. Now back to Chad Wheeler. Skip, now, the problem that I have, I think the police did what they were supposed to do. They came in, they came through the door, they arrested him, he's bonded out since. The problem that I have is that there's this thing that we're dealing with right now that's called mental health issue. And I don't take that lightly. People suffering from it, hopefully they get the care, the treatment that they need. But when you put that to the forefront and with a domestic issue, now the domestic issue gets pushed to the back and everybody's just talking about the mental health aspect. Bruh, I won't let that happen. I won't let the Seattle the Seahawks, I won't let the police department put that out there as a way of saying, well, he did do it, but maybe there's a reason why. There's no reason why. It's unacceptable. And that's the problem that I have, Skip, is that seems that when our counterparts, our white counterparts, do something, we got to tell you a reason why. When Dylan Ruth went in that church in Charleston, South Carolina, well, you have to understand his upbringing. You have to understand this. There's always a caveat to why, instead of maybe he was just a bad person. Now, I'm not saying Chad Wheeler's a bad person. I don't know Chad Wheeler. And I think that might have something to do, Skip, why this thing didn't get the leg that it got earlier. Because if I'm not mistaken, this happened Saturday. And it didn't come to my attention until yesterday during the show. And it was just like, started just like a feeding. And I'm like, and then I'm reading it last night, like, hold on, this happened Saturday? And here we are. It didn't even become a story until Wednesday, probably because of who Chad Wheeler is. Skip, he's not like a household name. He's not a Pro Bowl offensive lineman. He's not a superstar in this league. But the mental health aspect it has been gone to the front. And now this poor young lady, she has to sit back after suffering what she suffered. Is like, really? Y'all go out there gonna feel sorry for him, but what about me? I suffered this beating at this man's hands, and he told me because I wouldn't bow. I read the report. It says because he said bow before her. When she didn't do it, he beat her within her life, was strangling her, Skip, and she woke up, and he said, you still alive? Now, Skip, I'm going to need someone with more alphabets in there before their name and after their name, because and I read in the mental health thing that says bipolar doesn't cause you to be an abuser. Skip, that's not my expertise. So I'm gonna need somebody with some alphabets in front of their name or after their name to tell me what really comes about this. But Chad, now, the NFL, you have better mechanisms now than what you had with Ray Rice. And you put those mechanisms in place so you would never, ever have a situation like you got with Ray Rice. Now, let's see if those mechanisms that you put in place to handle situations like this, let's see if they work. I'm just disappointed with how Seattle, that little weak statement, you're saddened? That's all you got. Not horrified, not shocked, not terribly disappointed, you're saddened. That's all you got for us. Nah, that ain't gonna fly for me. And we got to stop this. Don't let mental illness be this. And I'm like I said, I empathize for people that's going through something.
Yep.
But you can't use that as an excuse for why he did what he did. He should be punished to the full extent of the law.
Yeah.
And the NFL, it's hard for the NFL to have something to say about it, Skip, because he's not in the NFL currently. He's a free agent. But it's going to be hard for him to ever play another down in the NFL, given the gravity of what he did.
Okay, so I appreciate everything you just said. I listened carefully to everything you just said. I appreciate your passion for this. But I will conclude that I disqualify myself. I don't know. This is so far over my head and out of my lane that I cannot even begin to take a position, except that I'm horrified by the details. My stomach turns, my heart bleeds over what I consider the all-time most disturbing domestic violence story in sports that we've ever heard. Again, the details are from the police report via her, this poor victim who is very lucky to be alive.
Very.
Very lucky. And to your point, she called 911 and said, "I'm being killed." This isn't just domestic violence. This turned into attempted murder.
Correct.
It went beyond just your basic domestic violence.
Yes.
And to your point, according to the police report, she got choked to the point and suffocated to the point she passed out.
Right.
And then he walks back in the room as she came to and said, "Oh, you're alive." Okay, what do we know about Chad Wheeler? To your point, he's basically an NFL nobody because he did make the Giants team, 2018, and he did start a bunch of games for them. I think 14 out of 16 games for the Giants, who went 5-11. Started 14 games. Yeah, they went 5-11, but he wasn't on our radar.
Right.
Then they cut him. He was on the Seattle practice squad for a year, and he did play in 5 games for them last year in a backup role. Okay, now let's go back to Chad Wheeler at USC. He started all 4 years for the USC Trojans. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Junior year, second team All Pac-12. Senior year, first team All Pac-12. But he had one of these type incidents, if you want to call it a bipolar. I don't know what it was.
They normally refer to them as an episode.
An episode at USC. And the Los Angeles Times reported in December 2015 that Wheeler was detained and then taken to the hospital for psychiatric evaluation after police responded to a call that he was punching walls and windows while barricaded inside an apartment with a 20-year-old female friend and her 7-month-old son. Police subdued Wheeler by firing multiple beanbag rounds at him, according to the report. Why do you think he went undrafted after his senior year?
Right.
Wouldn't you figure it was because of that?
Absolutely.
First team All Pac-12 as an offensive tackle, but you went undrafted because of that.
Correct.
Was there not the biggest red flag?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And it was reported that he had stopped taking his medication. And my thing is, Skip, now we have pictures. Now, we didn't get this. Nobody posed the question. Was Ray Rice was suffering anything, or Kareem Hunt suffering anything? And that's my Skip.
Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy. Nobody said anything about mental health issues.
Yep.
They were just bad guys. And I'm not saying Chad Wheeler's a bad guy. I don't know Chad Wheeler. But why would you stop taking your medicine when you know
I have no
there's a reason why you got put on the medicine to keep this type of behavior under control?
Yeah.
So in other words, you're asking, Skip, if I got a pit bull and I know what he's capable of, why would I ever take him off leash? I'm asking for trouble.
I hear you. I'm out of my league. I don't know. This intersection of mental health and domestic violence.
Yeah, but I don't, and like I said, I don't ever want mental health to get in front of the domestic violence because this person has really suffered at the hands of this person.
I got it. In the end, all I care about is I hope she can recover.
I hope so too, Skip. That's what I hope.
It's horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying. And I appreciate both of you highlighting the victim because I do think that's what needs to be discussed here. And I have not personally been a victim of domestic violence. I have friends who have. I specifically remember a phone call in college hearing a friend who was in the hospital